Prodigal Summer is a fictional novel written by Barbara Kingsolver and published in 2000. It is the fifth of Kingsolver's 15 books, including The Poisonwood Bible, The Bean Trees, and Pigs in Heaven. Kingsolver has received the National Humanities Medal, the Dayton Literary Peace Prize, and the Orange Prize over the course of her literary career. Kingsolver was born on April 8, 1955, and was raised in rural Kentucky. She earned degrees in biology from both DePauw University and the University of Arizona. Kingsolver is a social activist and environmentalist who often uses her novels to discuss environmental issues such as climate change and pesticide use. She currently resides in Virginia. Prodigal Summer takes place in Zebulon County over the course of one hot and fertile summer. Kingsolver uses three distinct storylines which gradually intertwine themselves through the course of the book. Her main characters, Deanna Wolfe, Lusa Maloof-Landowski, and Garnett Walker, are all strongly opinionated and fiercely independent. The first of which, Deanna Wolfe, is a 47-year-old wildlife ranger stationed in the fictional Zebulon National Forest. A trained wildlife biologist who specializes in coyotes, Deanna lives alone in a repurposed hunting cabin on Zebulon Mountain. She spent the last 2 years in solitude, maintaining trails and documenting wildlife. While tracking down a newly arrived pack of coyotes, Deanna runs into Eddie Bondo, the son of a Wyoming sheep farmer. Eddie has come to Zebulon specifically to hunt Deanna's beloved coyotes. Despite their 19-year age difference and opposing views on wildlife, Eddie and Deanna begin a brief but passionate love affair. Meanwhile, down on the valley floor, Lusa Maloof-Landowski, a half-Palestinian, half-Jewish entomologist, is coping with the recent loss of her husband, Cole Widener. Having only been married a short time, Cole's tight-knit family views Lusa as a foreigner and questions her motives for wanting to stay on the family farm after Cole's untimely death. Lusa is adamant she won't grow tobacco on the farm this year, even though it's the only crop in Zebulon County known to turn a profit. Much to the Widener's dismay, she raises meat goats based on the knowledge that both the Muslim and Jewish holidays will align this year, creating a huge need for young roasting goats. Down the road, Garnett Walker, a former vocational agricultural instructor, has made it his life's work to bring back the American chestnut. Brought down by a parasitic fungus in the early 1900s, the once plentiful American chestnut has been reduced to just a few decrepit specimens. By crossing a blight-resistant chestnut with a surviving American chestnut, he hopes to someday repopulate the South with these magnificent trees. Garnett views bugs and weeds as his mortal enemies and isn't afraid to use chemical weapons against them. This creates quite the struggle between him and his eccentric neighbor, Nanny Land Raleigh. Just 10 years his junior, Nanny grows organic apples and refuses to act her age. Although the two begin the summer as adversaries, a friendship soon blossoms, and Garnett seems to soften as the summer passes. Nanny is able to open his eyes to the physical and ecological dangers of using pesticides. As the relationship between Deanna and Bondo progresses, Deanna reveals to him that Nanny Raleigh and her father had a child years before. The girl, Rachel, had been born with Down syndrome and had died young. Deanna's own mother also died before Deanna had a chance to know her, and Nanny Rollins has served as a maternal figure in her life. As Lusa struggles to keep the farm afloat, she also forms a crucial bond with her sister-in-law, Jewel. Jewel is a fragile woman with 2 troubled young children and a philandering ex-husband. Lusa soon finds out that cancer is the cause of Jewel's health problems, and she doesn't have long to live. Lusa volunteers to adopt Jewel's children, who've been spending most of their time with her already, and while figuring out paperwork, Lusa learns that Garnett Walker is Jewel's ex-father-in-law. Walker has never met his grandchildren, having disowned his son prior to their birth, and Lusa takes it upon herself to rectify that as quickly as possible. As fall begins to draw near, Deanna finds out that she's pregnant, yet does not reveal her condition to Eddie Bondo. She instead sends word to Nanny Raleigh, with plans that she'll raise her child on the apple orchard. Eddie Bondo eventually disappears, leaving nothing behind but a note, as Deanna expected. Kingsolver brings the novel to a close, reminding readers that all life is intertwined by saying, "Solitude is a human presumption. Every quiet step is thunder to a beetle life underfoot. A tug of impalpable thread on a web pulling mate to mate and predator to prey. A beginning or an end, every choice in a world made new for the chosen." Many of the characters in Prodigal Summer have symbolic names. For instance, Nanny Land Raleigh. Nanny is the word for mother goat paired with the word land. She embodies the spirit of Mother Nature, warm, loving, and gentle. while Deanna Wolf is as free and wild as her canine namesake, roaming through the wilderness on Zebulon Mountain. Throughout the course of the book, Kingsolver introduces many important ecological principles, natural selection, genetic diversity, and the Volterra principle being the most prevalent. Kingsolver suggests that a natural balance is needed to maintain a healthy ecosystem, regardless of whether that ecosystem is a national forest or an organic apple orchard. The Volterra principle is first introduced by Deanna Wolf while explaining to Eddie Bondo the important role that predators play in a healthy ecosystem. She explains that by killing a single coyote, you've let loose an extra 1,000 rodents on the world that he would have eaten. It's not just one life. Nanny Raleigh goes on to explain to Garnett that when a broad-spectrum pesticide is sprayed, it kills the predator bugs and the pest bugs. The surviving pest bugs are then able to increase their numbers because their natural predators have disappeared. Their surviving predators will continue to decrease because they've lost their food supply. I intend to base my final project on the Volterra principle, also known as the paradox with pesticides, focusing on how the use of broad-spectrum pesticides can upset an entire ecosystem.